Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Hi everyone. So I have a new product for you to partake in, one that I'm going to share with you, and that is Be Believe. So Be Believe in the power of playful learning. So dive into the world of wonder with Be Believe's rich collection of animations, catchy songs, playful coloring pages, hands-on activity sheets, and engaging ebooks. Each element is thoughtfully crafted to captivate young minds while reinforcing positive behaviors in a fun and meaningful way. Whether your little one is watching a magical adventure, singing along, coloring their favorite character, or reading an enchanting tale, every moment is packed with joy, learning, and imagination. So if you go to our unique code or link in order to not only support Be Believe, but also support the podcast, you can head to be-believe.com/reality2. So that's www.believe.com/reality2. So that is REALITEATWO. And the link is also in the show notes, where you can also link to that. So head on over to Be Believe with our unique code link, and you can unleash good behavior through enchanting tales, where imagination and good behavior unite. Thank you, Be Believe, for supporting this podcast. Now, back to the show. Welcome to Reality T times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing 90 Day Diaries. This is going to be a pretty quick episode because it just will be. It just will be. Again, just as a reminder, I think this is coming out in September still. The Patreon third tier documentary, again, is this is Zodiac speaking. That's what's there. The full coverage of that is on Patreon at patreon.com/reality T times two. And that's on the third tier. But that is there. And we'll start talking about the October one when we get to it. We're not there yet. But that's it for the top of the episode. Let's jump in with Diaries. So we start off with Cortney and Colt. Colty. Okay. We see them basically going home from Tulum. Over they were in Mexico City, I think. So we see them going home afterwards, being hunt for love and all that. We're not going to be talking about all the ins and outs of that because we do hear a lot of that in the tell-all. So, which I feel like I still need to do that tell-all. But anyway, finish the tell-all. But anyways, we do hear that there. So I'm not going to rehash it. But she's like, I love they live with my parents. They cook and they clean. My mom says we job applications once a week because can't live off of pics. Yeah, the pics are just not gonna keep doing it. That's why mama keeps doing that. It's also a sign. Seriously, here's your sign. Your sign is she's here giving you a job application every week. This is her basically saying, here's a sign, get the fuck out my house. That's a sign. Anyways, she's like, I need the supervision. That's also probably true. But Colty has some rules while living in the house. There's certain things that he can't do. And number one, don't touch the thermostat. Thermostat is meant to be where it is at. Don't touch it ever. Don't even look at it. And another thing, your room is all the way down that hallway. All the way down that hallway. You have your own bathroom. It's perfect. Courtney's room is all the way down this hall. She also has her own bathroom. So there'll be no hanky-panky. I have the last part. But we know what they're implying. The next day, Dad, we see him installing a new shower head for Colty. Sweethearts. And they also have like a seat for him so he can have a seat while showering. And you know what? Courtney is really happy about this because she's like, I've been giving him sponge baths, getting all up in there. I am happy that I don't need to do that anymore. Thank you, Dad. So she's very happy. I think Colty is also really happy because I think he just wants to have a good shower. But anyways, we then see him calling Debbie, Mama Debbie. And she is happy that he has someone to help him. She gets very emotional while talking about it, but she's happy about that. She does meet Courtney at this moment, and she's like, oh, she's beautiful. And she can't wait to meet her in person. Debbie's being so sweet. And yeah, I would love to see them meet each other. It's going to be great. Not because I think it's going to be a shit show or anything. I just, I like to see Mama Debbie. I like to see Courtney. So I'm here for it. But then we do see kind of the dark side of being with Colty. She's like, I do worry that he'll just leave me when he can walk again. Well, at the time of the tell-all, he's still gonna walk. Sorry, that was mean. Anyways, he's still gonna walk then anyways, but it's a valid point because think of it this way. I know him and Vanessa were married obviously before his first accident, but it kind of feels like once he was mended and ready to go and be normal again, he was found to be cheating according to Vanessa. So it's a valid fear. But we do see, because there was talk of it on the reunion, or the tell-all, I should say, that he had gotten flowers from some random chick they started talking to in Mexico City. We see said flowers. We load a flashback, and that's about that. So they kind of are having a little bit of, a date type situation. And they're talking, and they first are talking about the fact of the lack of intimacy because he's like, as he said before, the the mind is strong, but the flesh is weak. I think that's what he said. But he he is not able to do anything right now with the pain, the meds, and all that. Sex is non-existent at the moment. And Courtney says, "But what if like you suck in bed? Valid. What if you do suck in bed? Really and truly? What do I do with that? I fall in love with you, but then I can never have an orgasm again. You know what I mean? It's valid." But he says, "I haven't had any complaints." No comment. So she does say, kind of reiterating what she was saying before, like, what if I heal you back to health and you just run off with someone else? She said with some other bitch, but I didn't say that part until I said that part. And he's like, well, I can't run for a while. I get you being funny, Colty, but she has a valid concern. So how about we don't make jokes in this moment? But he does say, the chick with the flowers, he didn't send anything to her, no news, no nothing, no good morning, my dick, none of that. He said, I did show her a picture of my knee because she was asking, but that's about that. Um, and nothing else happened. I think he cut all ties. Like, there's nothing he's basically saying that she needs to worry about. And she says, if you do talk to other women, like, I'm breaking your phone. And he's like, well, as you should, until she actually breaks your phone, and then the police are going to get called and all that jazz. But anyways, um, he said, like I mentioned, he did cut everybody off, and that's basically the update with Colty and Courtney. I'm sure we'll see them again. There's been a lot of Jovi and Yara, so this pissed me off because I'm like, why are they on Diaries when we also have them on HEA? Why are they here? You know what? This was insightful. I'm here for this. So she has her citizenship test coming up. And to make the stakes a little higher, they make a bet. And I think he said if she loses that he wants head or something. I don't know. But if she wins, she passes her test, he has to wear the most ridiculous outfit out in public. Well, they do go out for shopping and we see things like um jock straps, harnesses, but so it's the whole thing. There is some crazy shit. And what do they land on? An American flag, I think. Um, Speedo with like the one of those tank tops with holes through them, like the holes in them. You know what I mean. Um, Something that like anyone would wear. Basically, it's not that crazy. I need more personally. But anyways, the day of the test, she's like, my friend from New Orleans came by. We went out. I'm a little hungover. I don't know. Here's the thing. If you are going to be having your citizenship test the next day, maybe going out and partying to the point where you're hungover the next day is not a good idea. Just a thought. Like, I think that was reckless. Anyways, so they go off on the way there. She obviously is the only person allowed in. She comes out about 2 hours later and she's like, I wish I could joke and say that I got it when I didn't get it, when I actually did get it, but I actually didn't get it. She didn't get it, y'all. And this is what she says. And I think this is where I was in. And I'm like, oh wow, like this is really insightful. And not only that, this is really real. And I'm gonna vent in a second. So when she explains to him, the officer, as soon as I saw her, I knew I'm fucked. And they basically asked her, do you have disabilities? Yara responds with, no, I don't have any disabilities. The officer comes back with, oh, you don't have any disabilities? You're not like a princess or something? The fuck? She then says, I did pass the main test, but she didn't believe that I'm married. So, bitch, you think I'm here for no reason? I came here and married this freaking guy with freaking the hugest overbite in human nature. You think I married him for my health? I then got pregnant with my child before we were even legally married? And you think I'm just here just to be here? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what's the reason you think that? Is it because like there's a war in her country? Newsflash is stupid. She was here before that happened. So like what the fuck? I was so upset for her. And I was saying this to my mom afterwards. I'm like, the fucking problem is it is not just in America, and I want to stress that it happens in Canada as well. You have these immigration officers who have way too much power. You should be having a guideline for which you follow in order to reject or accept one's application. That is it. That is all. You do not get to put in your personal feelings about somebody to determine whether or not they get their citizenship or they get their application approved or this or that. We're spending so much fucking money to have our person either have an application go through, whether for America's case for sponsor, for spouse visa, K1 visa, whatever else other visas there are, tourist visas, whatever there it is, citizenships, whatever. In Canada's case, sponsorship would be for a spouse, or we don't have a K1 visa here. But I'm spending a lot of money on that. Like a lot of money for these things for it to then not be approved because you have a personal vendetta against someone. You don't even fucking know that person. That should not be allowed. And I do think that is a little bit worse in America, especially in this climate. But it's not just, like I said, it's not just there, it's everywhere. And you shouldn't have that kind of power. You shouldn't. And I think shame on this officer for probably, listen, she's probably unhappy in her life. Okay. She's probably a miserable bitch. 'Cause, it's a woman. And you look at Yara and you think, oh, she's a prima donna, she's a princess, she's this, she's that. And she's probably just like a sugar mama or sugar baby or whatever the fuck. Like you look at her and you have this preconceived notion of her because you're miserable in your fucking life. That has nothing to do with Yara though. That has nothing to do with her. Shame on her. And I think she should be outed. I think she should be outed. And I think she should be fired. I also think she should be fired. Mind you, should probably be rehired in this current administration, but that's beside the point. Anyways, when this officer didn't believe that Yara was married, again, you think I'm here for my health? She said, well, my husband's outside, like, I'll call him. And the officer was like, no. And she's like, well, I have proof on my phone that, like, I'm married. She's like, no, you have to come back. So basically, she had to, like, compile all this documentation to come back with in order to have her citizenship go through. And ultimately, that's exactly what she does, and that is exactly what happens. So guess what, Jovi? You better put on that ridiculous, actually, no, it's not that ridiculous, outfit. It's not that ridiculous. And go tramping all over the beach because my girl won. And that's what he does. So that's basically Yara and Jovi. Let's move on to Robert and Anny. This is the last couple for this episode. Not a lot to really say here, but we'll just run through it anyways. So when they're kind of starting to do like their, hi, I'm Robert, hi, I'm Anny, this is how we met. He's like, um, or then she says, or no, he says, you go first. And she's like, no, yeah, you go first. And he's like, no, no. Um, he's like, you come first or you're second place. And I always had to come first. And I wrote, ew. First of all, you know what? We're going to talk about it. a real man lets his woman come first because it takes longer, and we come first and we can keep coming anyways, you know what I mean? We don't have to stop like you do. So a man should always let his woman come first, but yet you'd want to come first. And that's what a flex. Anyways, so they're preparing to go to the hospital because she's going to be giving birth to their son in about the next week. She unfortunately, unfortunately for her, it is what it is. She has to have a C-section because the baby is not in the right position. Baby is breech, so she has to have a C-section. So they decide, and listen, I don't want to talk shit, but this is what I'm here for. They decide they're going to be naming the baby Allele because they wanted to have the name close to Adriel, which Adriel was the son that that passed away. Sweet baby boy. He's so precious. Seeing his pictures, like I want to cry, and I guess um. Anyways, they want to name the baby, like I said, Allele. It's close to Adriel. Sorry. Um, but here's my thing. They're saying that they want to do this because they think the baby's gonna look like him. And spoiler alert, she does say that they do look quite a lot alike. But I feel like God, I don't want to be a bitch, but like think about your son and the fact that he is like you're saying he looks like him, you're naming him close to the name of your deceased son. And he's always going to be living in the shadow of his brother. I don't know, man. Let him have some individuality, as should Azrael also have individuality. You shouldn't be putting their names so close together, um, because it feels to me like you're trying to have a redo with this son, which I understand. Like you want to have what you could not have had with him because he was taken away from you too soon. But it kind of feels like that movie of my sister's or my brother's keeper or whatever that one was called, where it's like I'm created for the mere purpose of keeping my sibling alive. That is not a nice feeling. Now, I'm not saying it's as extreme as that, but I'm always going to live in the shadow of my brother, the brother that I never met, the brother that's not here. That is going to be a tough pill to swallow later on in life. I don't know if that was a good choice, but I don't know what I would have done otherwise. I don't know. I just don't know if I would have done that. But yes, baby is born. He is absolutely precious. Um, and he weighed in at, I believe it was 9 pounds, 7 ounces, and 21 inches. He's a big boy. But yeah, that's basically it, guy. That's the episode. Of course, these diary episodes are gonna be quick, but usually are gonna be quick, especially because it is the first episode. So, and a lot of these people we've either just saw on Hunt for Love or currently seeing on AGA. So it's not much to really say, and there's only so much you could say when it comes to someone giving birth. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes with the next episode. But until then, guys, that is it for me. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, We're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Week Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.